Hi guys, hope you're doing good. In this video, we're going to learn about functions. The functions are basically some set of instructions bounded or packed together to perform some specific task. Then where do we use this function and what is the use of this function? Main use of this function is to reuse the already existing code. If at all like you have some code and you want to repeat it again and again, instead of repeating it, we can take these instructions and put it inside a block and we call it as function, and we can reuse it any number of times instead of repeating it again and again. And the other major use of function is for easy debugging. Let us see a few examples and understand how to write and use functions. Now to create a function, we'll be using a keyword called as def followed by the function name. Let me give the function name as func, and let me say print and say I am inside the function, something like that. And here let me call the function, and to call the function I need to come out of the block. Make sure that you're not giving the function here within the block itself. If I give here, then that becomes a recursion, right? I'll tell you what is recursion in the later in my next videos, but now understand that whenever I want to call a function, I may need to call the function outside, right? Now let me execute this code, and when I execute this code, this is where my execution starts. The function call, it goes and calls the function, and now this whatever is there inside the function will get executed. Now this is called as function call, because you're calling the function there, and this is called as function definition, because this is where you're defining whatever you want to have inside the function, right? Unlike other programming languages, you don't require function declaration here. Like you if you would have already learned any other programming languages like C++ or Java, you may be declaring the function before using it, but here in Python, function declaration is not required. You will call the function and you define the function, so the function which is defined will be called. Now I've already said in this video in the beginning, like function helps you to avoid repetition or avoid redundancy. Let us see an example for that. Let me tell you, right, if I'm going to write a program for getting two input and then adding it. For example, let me say val1 input, enter val1, and then say val2. Let me copy this and paste it here. So I'm getting two input, and then let me say result, and then I'm going to add val1 plus val2, and then I'm going to print it. Now if at all I want to add these two set of numbers repeatedly, right, this I'm going to do only once. If I want to do this three times again and again, let me copy this code, paste it here, and then again here. So I've given this code three times. Now let me run this code. 12, 23, I'm getting results 35, 34, 45, getting the results. Now since it is three times, I've copied and pasted it. But if at all I want this code many number of times, that is like n number of times, maybe 100 times here and there in my program, then it will be very difficult just to copy and paste it everywhere here and there, and it will be very difficult to maintain as well. So that's the reason we are going for function. Now let me tell you how to do the same process using a function. Let me just pull this out. I'm going to pack these 5 lines of code which is getting repeated in my program inside a function. Let me say sum of two numbers. So whenever I require this addition of two numbers, I just call the function
That's it. Wherever in my program it's required, I just call the function. Now you can see it's clear and crystal. Like I don't have like some repeated number of codes again and again. I'm just repeating only the function call. So that doesn't give a very big problem for you, right? So wherever required in your program, you can call this function and then immediately these few lines will get executed. Let me run this code again. There will not be any big difference, but the same. You're getting the same? That's it. So this is how we use a function. Whenever we require some set of codes getting repeated, and we can just bound it or pack it into a function and then use it. Instead of printing it inside the method or inside the function, I can return the value and print it to the place where my function call happens. Let me say return result. And here I cannot call this function as it is, because when I call this function, it goes here, does the work, and the value which is getting returned will come back to the same place. So either I have to store it inside a variable, or I can like this, I have to store it inside a variable like this, or directly I can say print and the function. So when I say print and the function, here the function call will happen, it goes here, does the work, and the result will be returned back to the place where my function call happens. Now let me run this code for you, and I say it file 23. Now you're getting the result 35. Now what's happening here is, from here the function call happens, it does the work, adds the result, and the result will be returned back to the function call where it happens, and this place the value will be there. It means that it is print 35, the value 35 is getting printed. Now we can also go one step ahead and then just say written val1 plus val2. Now here what's happening is, I am saving one variable called as result, unnecessary variable. I can save the memory space, right? I can just say written val1 plus val2. This is also possible, right? It is not required that you need to store it in a variable and return it back. You can also return the process directly. So let me say file 23, and you're getting the output as 35. Okay, now let us see how to pass an argument to the function. Now let me take this out and then say, and these lines are outside the function. It's not inside the function, it is outside the function now. Now when I'm calling the function here, I can just say val1 comma val2. These are called as arguments. I'm calling the function and passing something to it. What I'm passing is two values. So when I pass two values, I should be having some two placeholders to hold the value. Now this is how I do it. I just say a plus b. Now what's happening here is, I'm getting some input for val1, let it be 10, and another input for val2, let it be 20. When I call the function sum of two numbers and say val1 comma val2, it means that I'm passing 10 and 20 together here. So val1 is passed to a, that is 10 is passed to a, and 20 will be passed to b. So what I'm passing from here is not the variable where I'm passing the value. When I say val1, it is like the value is getting passed to a, and when I say val2, the value is getting passed to b. Let me run this code. Still I get the same result. There will not be any difference. The only way is that how I handle it, right? So here this is called as, these are called as parameters. These are called as parameters and these are called as argument. Don't forget it, right? Now these are just like passing one or two values, right? If I'm going to pass more than one value, for example, let me take this out. I say sum of numbers, and let me pass 1 2 3 4 5. Now as I'm passing 10 arguments, how many parameters are required here? 10? Yes, you're right. Like previously we have seen, right? We passed two arguments, so we require two parameters. If I pass 10 arguments, I may require 10 parameters. But that is not required in Python. Now what we can do is we can use something called as narg, which can take all the arguments that I'm passing, n number of arguments, right? So that looks simple, right? Yeah. Sorry, let me take this out. Yes. Now if I'm passing some 10 arguments here, I have a parameter which can take or which can handle all the 10 arguments that I'm passing. Now here one more I just want to clarify, this narg is not a keyword. It's just for the naming convention. I'm like comfortable using narg. You can use anything you want, right? And don't forget that you need to put a star before it, because that's a syntax that you need to do it. Okay. Now whatever I'm passing here, that's going to get stored here. How it's going to get stored? It's going to get stored as a tuple, as a tuple. Now if you want, we can check it, giving print type of narg, and we can see what is the type there. And in tuple and list, we have a function called as sum, which adds all the values inside the sum, right? So let me say sum of n arg. So there's the value which is there inside will get added and then will get printed. Now let me run this code. See, you can see the type of n arg is tuple, yes, and it added all the values with the help of sum. Now let us see one more example of keyword arguments. Don't worry, I'll tell you what a keyword argument is. Let me take a function called this employee info. Let it be like this as of now. Let me say employee info, and let me try to pass some keyword arguments. So when I pass a value along with the variable name, that's called as keyword argument. Now these are called as keyword argument. Samuel, I'll say department, let it say training, and I'll say salary, let's say 10,000. Now these are keyword arguments. These are not normal arguments that I cannot catch it in a normal variable like this. See, since you think that there are 3 arguments, let me give a comma b comma c. That's not possible. Now these are called as keyword arguments, as I said already. Variable name and a value. Variable name and a value. And then one more thing that I want to make sure that like you don't give any numbers here. It should be only string or combination of alphanumeric, because variable cannot start with a number and variable cannot be a number, right? So you need to make sure that you're giving some proper names here and followed by some values for the variable here. Now when a variable and value together, these are called as keyword arguments. Now when I pass keyword argument, I need to have something to store it. For that I'll be using star star, and again kwarg is a naming convention. Don't confuse, you can give anything there, but make sure that you're giving 2 stars there. So I am passing some values here and trying to catch it with the help of keyword argument. Now let me try to print it here, and let me run this code, and you can see whatever you pass there, the keyword arguments are getting stored as a dictionary. You can see it's getting stored as a dictionary. If you want, we can also see the type of it with the help of the type method, and then I say kwarg or keyword argument. You can see it's of type dictionary. Let me give an example of using narg and keyword argument together. Let me pull this out. It's not required for me. That not make sense if I use emp there. So let me say 10, 30, 40. So here I have some 4 values, 4 arguments, that is 10, 20, 30 and 40, and these are my keyword arguments. For keyword arguments, I'll be using a star star kwarg to hold it, and to get this info, all these 4 arguments, I'll be using star narg. Let me try to print narg here. Let me run this code. You can see 10, 20, 30 and 40 is getting stored in narg, and the keyword arguments, whatever I given, it's getting stored in kwarg or the keyword argument. Now, considering like this is a tuple and this is a dictionary, let me try to create a tuple and a dictionary for me. Let me say my tup, and let me put it here, and let me create one more thing as my dict and create a dictionary there. Right, and let me pass on these two arguments, that is my tup and my dictionary. Right, let me run this code. You'll be surprised to see that the kwarg is empty, because kwarg can take only keyword arguments, but what I passed here is two arguments. One is a tuple, another one is dictionary. I've just passed a tuple and a dictionary, so it takes these two arguments and this narg will itself catch it, and it's putting inside the tuple. This 10, 20, 30, 40, a tuple, and the dictionary, both of them are there inside a tuple. Right, now how to pass this tuple to this narg and this dictionary to this keyword argument? As I said already, keyword argument will take only keyword arguments. It doesn't take anything else. So for that, I may need to unpack it. So I put a double star to unpack it, and I put a star to unpack this. So when I do this, you can see this MyTup, which is unpacked, that will be like this. So after unpacking, I'll tell you how it will look like. So it will look like this. After unpacking MyTup, it becomes 10, 20, 30, 40. And after unpacking this, it becomes like this. I'll tell you what happened. Just a sec. It will be unpacked to a keyword argument. When I say star star and the dictionary, then it will be unpacked to form a keyword argument like this. Hope you got it, guys. That's it for this video, guys. If you have any doubts or queries, please comment in the comment section. I'll definitely get back to you. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please do subscribe to my channel. And also click the bell icon to get more notification of the forthcoming videos. Thank you very much.